Follow the shapes you see, not the shapes you think you see. Teach your brain to unthink what it knows about the way an arm hangs from the shoulders, the way a head emerges from a neck, the way a rib cage narrows into the waist. Discard your preconceptions about the human body and think purely in terms of shape, form, and lines. Audrey leaned back on her stool, surveying her work in progress. No amount of self-delusion could persuade her that she had a natural talent for this, but that wasn't the point. Glancing sideways, Audrey looked at Mia's drawing. It was in a different league. It wasn't just a case of grandparental pride. You could hear it in Virginia's approbation every time she walked around the class, appraising their efforts. Looking at Mia's work, Audrey reassured herself that she'd made the right decision. She didn't like deceiving Jess, but Mia had been so passionate, so persuasive, and it had seemed such a small thing to ask, just the loan of the course fees for a weekly Saturday morning class at the Royal College of Art. Mum wouldn't lend me the money even if she could afford it. You know she wouldn't. She thinks even the smallest distraction from studying is a disaster, but I won't let it affect my coursework, I promise. I just really want to do it, Granny, and I promise I'll pay you back. I'll get a holiday job and pay back every penny, I swear. Money wasn't the issue. They both knew that. It was the duplicity. Audrey didn't allow herself to imagine Jess's fury if she ever found out they'd gone behind her back. But as far as Audrey was concerned, attending weekly art classes was hardly the pinnacle of teenage rebellion or the stuff of parental nightmares. It had been Audrey's idea to accompany Mia. It wasn't that she had a burning desire to test her own artistic abilities. It was simply the fact of having Mia to herself for one whole morning a week when her granddaughter wasn't squirreled away in her bedroom studying. Although now she was here, Audrey was finding the class calming in ways she hadn't expected. There was something meditative in the gentle scratch of pencil against paper, in shapes emerging where once there had been nothing, in the collective sound made by 8 students, each at their own easel. Leaning to one side to pick up a different pencil, Audrey felt a grinding pain slice through her right shoulder, causing her to inhale sharply. "What's wrong, Granny? Do you need me to get you something?" Audrey shook her head, moulding her grimace into a smile. "No, thanks, darling. It's just a little twinge, that's all. It's better now, honestly." The pain continued to jab at her shoulder, like a clamorous child demanding attention. She knew it was referred pain from the tumour in her liver, had been tolerating it for weeks, but still its intensity took her by surprise. "OK, everyone, shall we have a 15-minute break? Back here at 1:15. Pencils clattered against trays. Mia looped her arm through Audrey's and together they walked down the single flight of stairs to the canteen. In 3 weeks, it had already become a habit. Audrey taking a seat at a corner table by the window, Mia joining her a couple of minutes later, balancing a cup of tea, a hot chocolate, and a heavily iced cupcake on a tray. As Mia sat down opposite, Audrey noticed the dark rings beneath her granddaughter's eyes. "Are you getting enough sleep, Mia? You look exhausted. Are you sure this class isn't too much for you?" Mia shook her head. "Definitely not. It's the highlight of my week. I'm not even exaggerating." She tried to offer Audrey a reassuring smile, but it got lost somewhere between her lips and her eyes. "I just don't want it to add to your stress when I know how much pressure you're under. Only a week until your first AS exam. Just think, in a month it will all be over." Audrey picked up her tea, but before she'd managed the first sip, tears had begun to well up in Mia's eyes. "What is it, Mia? What's wrong?" "I'm going to mess them up. I know I am. And then Mum will be furious and I can't cope with her disappointment." Audrey took Mia's hand, rubbing the back of it gently. "You're going to be fine. You work so hard and you're so bright. I know you're under a huge amount of pressure, but it'll be over soon." Mia sniffed, the skin marbling around her eyes. "It won't. These are only my AS exams. There's a whole year before my A-levels, and I'm not going to be fine, Granny. There's no way I'm going to get an A-star in history." "That doesn't matter, Mia. Nobody can get top marks in everything." does matter. It matters to Mum. You know it does. Audrey wiped her granddaughter's tears with the pad of her thumb.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.